This weekend, Manchester United look for their third Premier League win in a row as they take on Brighton at Old Trafford. Right now, the morale amongst the fans has seen somewhat of an upward tick, so it's important that United try to build upon their monumental victory against Liverpool.
What we need to do is try to win 3 games in a row.
However, the schedule doesn't get any easier as United face another difficult test against one of their biggest bogey teams. At first glance, this feels like one of the most obvious trap games for Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. And when you do a little bit of digging, a little bit further inspection, you'll actually find out it really is. Brighton are unbeaten in their last 5 matches in all competitions, and they've already beaten the likes of Manchester City, Newcastle, and Chelsea this season, also drawing 2-2 with Spurs. When it comes to playing Manchester United, Brighton have won 4 of the last 5 against United, outscoring the Red Devils by 9 goals to 5. I actually think it's impressive what Fabian Hürzeler has been able to do with this Brighton side, especially against the top 6 teams, where they're not expected to have as much as the ball, but man, do they counter so clinically. That can be attributed to a very lively front line consisting of former Red Danny Welbeck, Jorginho Rutter, and Yankuba Minte. In Brighton's last match against Newcastle, Rutter was able to find himself in pockets of space beyond Newcastle's midfield line, turn, and then drive into that space with dangerous impact. Now, I don't think Manchester United will make it this easy for Brighton to play through them, but if we opt for a high-pressing game, this could catch us off guard. Brighton also have the threat of Danny Welbeck up top, who will demand a ton of respect for his sharp anticipation and clinical finishing ability. One of the most dangerous aspects to this Brighton side is their high off-the-ball movement. See, Hürzeler likes his side to play with a bit of adventure, so you'll either see one of the wing-backs attacking high up the pitch to provide another passing option, or just to put bodies on the opposition, or you'll see one of his central midfielders attack the space, sort of like a free-roaming central midfielder, and give him license to get up the pitch and create chaos and havoc, especially amongst teams who like to man mark. Now this, in combination with Brighton's knack to deliver early crosses into the box, means that Manchester United will have to be very sharp defensively. So where exactly can Manchester United punish Brighton? Well, I think one of the main keys to this game is for Manchester United to start quickly. In almost all of our Premier League matches so far this season, we've started quicker, we've been the aggressor, we've created clear-cut chances within the first 5 to 10 minutes. So I think more of the same needs to happen here. If we can score an early goal, we can dictate proceedings. Brighton are already a high-pressing team, so us scoring an early goal will force them to have to come out and expose themselves a little bit, and I think that'll be the perfect setup for Manchester United to then counter and hopefully score a couple more goals on Brighton's head. I also think this is another game where Manchester United can look to utilize the long and direct balls, especially when building up. Brighton are a team who like to press really high from goal kicks, restarts, throw-ins, anything you could name. So I don't think Manchester United should play around too much at the back, especially in a game like this. If Brighton are giving us the option to play out the back, take it. But Danny Welbeck, Jorginho Rutter, Yankuba Minte, they're all high energy, high focus players who will press for 90 minutes non-stop. And if they get tired, Brighton have other options to bring off the bench who will continue to press in that same manner. So I think going direct to Benjamin SESKO in a game like this is key. Obviously, he didn't play against Liverpool because Ruben Amorim felt that Van Dijk and Konate would have contained him a lot better. I think in a game like this against Van Hecke and Dunk, it's obviously going to be a difficult occasion, but I think if SESKO can position himself correctly, use his body to great effect, win those aerial balls and play knockdowns through to Mbumo or Cunha, whoever it might be, I think we will have a lot of success. And I think if SESKO can have a good game with his back to goal, then I think Manchester United overall will be able to dictate proceedings against a strong Brighton outfit. But at the same time, if Manchester United can utilize their strengths down the wing, put in very accurate and diverse crosses, not just the same type of cross to the center of the goal. Let's try some back post crosses. Let's try some near post runs. Let's try and throw off Brighton a little bit. Watching some of the games that they've played, especially against Manchester City, especially against Spurs, especially against Newcastle, they are susceptible a little bit to back post crosses and early crosses coming in from the right-hand side. So let's try and utilize that. We have players who are perfect for those types of scenarios. I think Manchester United should really look to exploit Brighton in this way. I also think Amorim can try and be a little bit more adventurous in this game. Obviously, we're going up against a high-pressing, high-energy, high-tempo Brighton team. So you want to try and limit as many risks in this match as possible. But I still think that if he can shock the status quo, if he can push one of his left or right center backs up to support our build-up, especially once we get into the final third, especially once the ball gets to either the right or left-hand side, when it's in at the feet of Ahmad or Mbumo. Try and have one of our wide center backs, for example, support and act almost as like a natural fullback to try and get late runs into the box from our central midfielders who will try and overload the box and confuse Brighton. I think just trying to confuse their back line and get players out of position, drag players out of position to create the space. I think this is what this system and the philosophy is all about. And I think this is a great game to try at least to implement that. Now, on the other side of the ball, defensively, I think that United need to pick and choose moments to press effectively. I don't think we should get drawn into a high pressing game on both sides because I think over the course of 90 minutes, Brighton are much better in their press. They're more unified than we are. Not saying our press is entirely bad, but it's not for a full 90 minutes perfect. And I think in this game, there are times and moments where we do need to sit off and allow Brighton to have the ball just a little bit. Frustrate them though. Sit in a low block, sit in a deep block where we can at least just frustrate them, force them to go side to side, and then spring with a trigger press once the ball gets to one of their key midfielders or even one of their wingbacks. I noticed that De Kuiper or Ferdi, they like to get on the ball a lot in advanced positions. So if we can limit them time on the ball as well, I think that'll be fantastic. Just trying not to get caught up in this gung-ho type of match because if we do, we won't be able to survive. And that leads me to the starting 11. Honestly, I think the only changes that need to be made, SESKO needs to come back in. And I think in a game like this, we can afford to drop Mason Mount and bring someone like Cunha in for his ball playing ability. And then I think this is the perfect type of game to drop Maguire and bring YORO. If Ruben Amorim himself is saying that certain players have the characteristics to play certain games, this game has YORO written all over it. There's no need to try and play Maguire in a game like this, especially with the pace that Brighton have in behind. It's another situation to Brentford where Maguire does not have the pace to withstand, players running in off the back of him. I think if YORO is in this game and De Ligt is at center back, we stand more of a chance of being more compact, especially against the counter. These are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. But this is what I think Ruben Amorim will go for. I think this is going to be a scrappy game, but I think United can edge it. I really do. I think with the morale boost from beating Liverpool, I think this is the perfect opportunity once again for these players to step up and prove like, hey, even though the start of the season wasn't the best, we're still in a position where we can climb up the table. And I think these are the perfect games for Manchester United to build a platform upon and start to really shock teams in this division. Thank you guys for watching the video. It means so much to me. Thank you for all of your support, especially since the copyright strike. I appreciate you guys for everything, all the comments, all the love. Let's keep it up. Let's hope that this weekend Manchester United can give us another positive result for us to talk about. Talk to you guys on Saturday. Have a good one. God bless you. Peace.